So we are on to the semi-final of the Ladies Challenge Plate between the British Under-23 8 elect on the left of your screen on the Berkshire station, and closest to us the men from Brown University, USA, Providence, Rhode Island. They are on the right of your screen. Hard to miss them with a big B for Brown. Their motto, ever true. And you can hear the umpire just going through the start instructions now.
Attention. Go. Get ready, please.
So this Brown crew on the right of your picture have been together all season in the American University Series. The crew on the left, the British Under-23s, come together really just for this regatta and will go on to Plovdiv. So experience and togetherness on the right of your picture against, well, promise and trying to find a good rhythm in this race.
Important who gets off first, who can get that kind of edge coming out of the island and then get into the transition best. We're expecting fast and furious, and we're getting fast and furious out of the start from both crews here.
It's a big deal for Brown. They came 6th in the IRAs, which is the sort of championships for the fastest varsity 8 in America, and it's a big call for their coach, Paul Cook, to bring them over, and he reckoned they had more to come, this 8, and more to come and maybe win the ladies. They're rowing in that borrowed boat named after Asa Nethercutt from Oxford University, the Oxford Cox who sadly passed away. Maybe that will bring them a bit of good luck, the men from Brown.
They've been racing with real courage, and we've seen them come from behind, we've seen them race strongly, so I think they're, heads are up, tails are up, as it were. They haven't been for a few years, so they definitely want to make their mark, but they know this, today it's going to be a real showdown for them. And the Under-23 crew, of course, they want to be picking up speed, and they've got an eye on Plovdiv. They've got to perform, they've got to build confidence, they've got to have some races that gives them the confidence they're working as a crew.
I do like the look of the British Under-23s. They kind of look like they're trying less hard, a little bit like the previous race with Claire's Court, not maybe quite as relaxed as that schoolboy quad, but Brown really looked to be front-ending it. A lot of aggression on the front end, maybe just the shoulders just coming in the upper bodies. I would expect that the British would start to sort of move through a little bit if they can just keep that fluidity.
Brown have just done a push, definitely. The British crew were kind of creeping out, but Brown have held that. They've come back, possibly even got a nose in front, but the question is, how expensive was that to do that, to come back level?
Well, Brown University in that fantastic race, which was won by Yale, of course. We saw 3 Under-23 boys from that Yale 8 go out to the Italians just a few minutes ago, and Brown were in that race, close on, finished 6th. The British do look good though, don't they?
Pretty head-to-head here, though, isn't it? So, I think you're right. If you look at the blade work, it's a little bit scrappier. There's kind of a little bit more raw power with Brown, a little bit smoother. I think a bit more length. And for me, the length in the British crew is potentially what's going to start to really kind of count now when we get into the middle of the race. So I think they're creeping out ahead again.
A couple of former Etonians in that British Under-23 8. Bill Geffen, the 2015 Oxford Blue in the bow seat. He's rowing for London Rowing Club now. You can see him closest to you. And in the middle of the boat, you can probably just pick him out in the blue Sport Imperial top. Dave Buick-Copley, captain of boats at Eton last year, and actually Eton, who will come down to race Scotch in the semi of the PE, their boat is named after Dave Buick-Copley. They have this tradition of always naming a boat after the previous year's captain of boats. So these boys, mainly from American universities in the British Under-23 8, and as I say, they have just come together, and really, for guys that have just come together, they're really showing a lot of poise, a lot of fluidity.
A lot of racing experience, as you're saying. They've been to Henley before, a lot of them with their schools in different crews. So there's an astonishing amount of experience. Bearing in mind it's an Under-23 crew. There's no doubt there are names here we're going to start to see for quite a few years to come, I think, as they progress through Under-23s and then into the seniors.
So Brown have really thrown in their all early on, and to me it looks as if they're going to have to do something superhuman to get back in this race. I know their coach Paul Cook really believes that this crew could have a chance. Brown University have won the ladies' plate back, I think, in the early 2000s, so they have a tradition of coming over here to win the event, and they are extremely competitive, aren't they?
They're putting in push after push. I mean, they're moving up again, so they're going to start sort of preparing, I think, to think about how much they can add in now in this second half of the race. But they're putting in push after push. So how much is that going to cost them? There's no doubt these are fit guys, but their winter's training is going to get a real workout in the second half of the race.
Nice rhythm from the stern of that boat. We're looking at the bowman, Bill Geffin, but in the stern you've got Arthur Doyle and then Dave Ambler in the British boat, both from the St Paul's crew that won the Princess Elizabeth here in 2015. There you see, there's a stroke. Arthur Doyle is at Harvard, and also Dave Ambler behind him is at Harvard. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's got an H on his top there, but maybe that was a Tideway Scullers unisuit that he was wearing. But those two were in, I think they were 6 and 7 in that St Paul's 8 that won the PE in 2015. So they've rowed together, and probably that's one reason they're in the stern of the boat, Kath.
Yeah, you can see there's a real cohesion that is setting that rhythm in the core. I mean, they're under pressure, aren't they, still? They can't break clear of Brown. So, you can feel there's a little bit of tension still in that under-23 crew. I don't feel they've completely got the conviction yet. I mean, they're going in the right direction. They're learning all the time when it's a new crew. There's no doubt the stern are, really kind of holding together under pressure because they've been there before. But this is not comfortable for them.
No, it's certainly not comfortable, and Brown are really taking it to them, and the British have not shaken off Brown University at all, and it's set up for a grandstand finish. As I look down the course, there's about 400 metres to go. It's an awful lot to actually get an 8 moving sort of half a length quicker in the last 300-400 metres.
It is. It requires sort of that extra gear on top, or 2 gears on top. But of course, if you can get everyone doing it at the same time, you can also in an 8 suddenly generate a momentum that comes and comes and comes. And that's the beauty of rowing an 8 that starts to fly in the sprint home to the line. So, can they do that on top of all the pushes in they put all the way down to the course? It's looking like they haven't got enough, I think, at this point.
It's where you got someone like experienced like Coxey and Middleton. Coxey under 23 8 to silver in the Worlds last year, Cambridge University. I mean, he knows his trade, doesn't he?
Yeah, 3 times blue. He's got a lot of experience of match racing like this, and I think he's definitely steering them to victory at the moment.
So the British under 23 8 Molesey Boat Club and Leander Boat Club cross the line, and they will take this semi-final of the ladies ahead of Brown. There the camera goes down the road. You can see the 2 Molesey boys there, George Stewart and Ali Douglas, and well, really the slightly better technical crew won. So we're off the start there, Kath, and you see this tremendous effort that Brown were throwing in the first quarter of the race.
Powerful crew. They powered it all the way down. Too much went in the first 3 quarters. They couldn't actually power again that final sprint in, but out of the line, out of the start, so impressive.
And there you see the pace of the Leander and Molesey Boat Club crew, just really a little more loose, a little more fluid. Maybe not so heavy on the sort of top end of the bodies at the front end of the stroke, just allowing them to really get their leverage through the middle, I think.
This is why for 2,000 metre racing the technique really matters, because you've got to have some efficiency, haven't you, through the middle, and their efficiency just saved them, and there wasn't enough efficiency for the Brown crew today. But a powerful effort.
Yeah, you can see the pain on the face of George Stewart there. Ali Douglas behind him, the former Hampton schoolboy, under 23 lightweight bronze medalist, turned to heavyweight now, and the Brown guys, everything went into that. And Rufus Biggs, who won the Thames Cup with Molesey last year, stroked that Thames Cup 8, is really going to have to settle for second best this year.